Hey, welcome everybody to this episode of the Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maraday. It's been a minute since I've dropped a show. We've done some restructuring. We had an awesome holiday season. I'm sure all these guys are rusted up and ready to talk some Steeler football, the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was quite the season for them. As much as I struggle with things that Coach Mike Tomlin does at times, and he does some things that I struggle with, I still respect the hell out of that man for turning that organization around this year. He squeezed every last drop of blood out of a stone in most instances to actually produce a winning season. And it's not about his record of being a winning coach at 9-8 this year, or, tying George Halas with 16 consecutive winning seasons. It's the fact that these guys play for him. Once they figured things out, they started playing their asses off for him. A lot of guys got healthy at the right time. And these are just some of the things we're going to talk about. So I'm going to start with my guy, Watson, who's back with us. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
I'm Kevin Watson. Obviously, me and Mark, had the opportunity to coach together there a little bit. And then who knows what might hold up in the future. Might be able to bring the band back one more time. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Go ahead, Rasheen. You throwing your hands in the air like you don't care.
Yes, Shane Hill, live from Frederick. I coach with Mark also. And yes, there was word of the band being brought back together.
We'll see. Terry?
T says, and my mom said, she said Ham K-word. And I said, it didn't sound right, but I think she said Cam Hayward was the MVP of that game. Awesome job. Glad to be here.
Good to have you. And my special guest, and I'm so happy he could make it with us this evening. He's a busy man. Timmy, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, guys. Good evening. I'm Tim Worley, Steelers, former 1989 first-round pick. And appreciate you guys having me on. Cool.
Yeah, I had Tim on the show before. Man, we had a great conversation, kind of build a little bond there. I could hit him up with a text if I need something. I got an opinion from him, whatever it takes. I appreciate you for who you are. A lot of guys don't give that back to people. So thank you.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about the game to start off with. Back and forth action, first quarter. Steelers did take the opening drive right down the field. They should have got that thing in the end zone. I had a problem with.
They did get it in the end zone.
I know
they did get it in the end zone.
You saw it. You saw it in black and white, or color TV. I was going to say black
and
white.
It's black and gold. I saw it in black and gold. It was in the end zone.
You saw it in black and
gold. Flag.
Why do you think? Coach. Hey, Tim, why wouldn't a coach challenge something like that? I mean, it was evident.
To be honest, I really couldn't tell you that. I don't have an answer for that.
Because they didn't have challenge flags back in your day.
Huh?
They didn't have challenge flags back in your day.
We sure didn't. We had instant replay, but I don't think we had challenge flags. So I couldn't tell you why. Maybe he was just ready to get on with the game, man. I mean, I know the Steelers have struggled all year long in the red zone. You know what I mean? And to get 6 points, always come away with 3, but to get that 6 points, they struggle all year.
They had 11 passing touchdowns this year. They ranked 32nd out of 32 teams.
Wow.
With passing touchdowns. Yep. Although Deontay Johnson led the team in receptions, he had 0 touchdowns this year. That's kind of amazing to me. That's a record that I don't know if you really want to hang your hat on that, but I mean, he had a lot of catches and a lot of yardage.
No one wants a hat on that, but he did see the end zone on 2-pointer. Beside the point, they should have challenged it. That was BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go to the fact that if you're sitting on the half yard line, all right, you should be able to get the ball in the end zone.
That's
okay?
Right.
It ain't you challenging it or not challenging it. Okay, so we line back up. We should be able to get that ball in there. All right, the running back back there is 230-some pounds. All right, let's give him the ball. Let's get the thing in the end zone. I mean, let's go. Come on, that's craziness on how we're not being able to do that.
That's always been my philosophy, man. If you can't get the ball across the goal line when you're on the half-yard line, really, that's something wrong with that.
Chuck Noll would have never stood for that, would he?
No, he wouldn't have. And 9 times out of 10, he was going to run it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have a problem with just being in a shotgun when you're on the half-yard line. Why would you be in the shotgun?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
get that.
You watch, but other than the Bulldogs, you watch much college football?
I do. I watch Georgia. I pay attention to Alabama because Alabama's Alabama. You know what I mean? And I try to watch a game every Saturday from each conference, just to see what things are looking like. I watched SC a lot this year. I watched TCU a lot this year, and it's clearly, guys, that I'm not being biased, but, the Dogs have the overall better team. We're a more complete team. I think we need a lot of work in our defensive backfield. They caught us sleeping a lot. Ohio State, basically, they kicked our butts up and down the field into the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And we need a lot of work. But it just spoke to the mentality of the Bulldogs, man. I mean, they got a taste of winning, and so that's what they love now. And they're going to win by any means necessary.
Well, he was planning on creating his program a lot like what's his name created down in Alabama, the little guy.
Saban.
Yeah.
From Thurmont, West Virginia.
Hey, look, I ask you that question too, because in the college game, and I know a lot of you guys watch college football too, just like myself, a lot of these quarterbacks never get under center. It's awesome to see Pickett when he goes under center. How many times did you see Ben go under center the last 3 or 4 years? Like, it makes me happy to see him get under center for a variety of reasons.
He couldn't do a 2-step drop. He had to get out of gun.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're saying about a 230-pound back. Back in the day, Tim's day, they would have put Merrill Hodge in front of him, and he would have plowed through.
Exactly.
Hey, Derek Watt, he was another big factor in this game. Misdirection, him and Connor Hayward. Put him on that goal line, lead the charge, and let Najee, instead of going up over top and doing that fumbleitis.
One of the things the Steelers have been doing too, though, is they've been letting Pickett take it, and they've been bringing some motion and just getting up in there and shoving Pickett over the goal line. I didn't understand why, we didn't at least take that philosophy. You like that rule change, Tim? Because that's a rule change that was never around back in your day when you played, where you can now push a guy forward as a lineman or a different player on the field.
I actually like it. You're seeing that a lot now. Especially in the goal line. I think it's pretty cool. They got to give something to us, if you're going to take away the physicality of the game, you know what I mean? So they got to give us something.
So we get to the second quarter, Rasheen, and I wasn't really impressed with what was going on in the game. Deshaun Watson's been out of football for almost 2 years, and I know they're trying to hype him up because he's back on the field, but he still looks – he doesn't, who looked better than him to me? Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs looked like he could run an offense, which was very impressive. He threw a good ball. He did some good things there. He has a strong back in the backfield with him. But I wasn't impressed at all with Deshaun Watson. In fact, I was so unimpressed with him. At one point, 6 pass attempts, 2 interceptions, and 2 sacks. Like, that's not – for a team that prides herself on having an O-line in Cleveland this year, that's not really very good to have that kind of statistic. But, that was when the scoring happened. Pittsburgh did drive down the field after Cleveland got their points, and then they took it away and got another one, went in at 10-7. What were your thoughts at that point, Rasheen?
Oh, man, you mean when they scored they were down by 7, right? Is that what you said? Oh, go again. I thought we were going to, crap the bed. I thought the defense was going to break, and I thought we were going to lose that game. I really did.
Kevin?
Well, I didn't, at no point, to be honest with you, I thought the Steelers were actually going to lose that game. For one, I looked at Cleveland. Once they got out of not running the ball, I wasn't worried.
Yeah,
I really wasn't. For whatever reason, they kind of did that to themselves. They stopped running the ball. Even though Chubb, he got some yards late, which was fine. But at the beginning of the game, that's when you have to set that tone, and they never did that. So they played into our hands, really. They really did.
You talking about the second quarter?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the overall piece of the second quarter. They never ran the ball. They started passing.
Yeah, you're right, because they came out running, and I was like, keep with it. he's getting 5-6 yards a chunk. But the second quarter, Steelers scored 10 points in like a minute. And when's that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky they scored 10 points a game. They got 10 points a minute. And so I was like, all right, let's see what the second half has entailed.
Tim, when you go in that locker room at halftime of a game like that, what's being said when you know you're the dominant team, but it's just kind of like it's still hanging in the balance there? What's somebody stepping up and saying?
Well, when you know you're the dominant team, it's basically, man, stick to the plan. Let's come together, guys. Let's focus. That's what that thing that's working. Let's stick with it. It's kind of like, one of my concerns of the day when I actually watched some of the game, I wasn't concerned about Cleveland's passing game because I knew Deshaun Watson, the timing and everything. You could see it was totally off. Yeah, you can tell he's rusty and hadn't played in a while.
Yeah.
But my concern was Nick Chubb. Every time he got the ball, man, he was popping 5, popping 10, popping 15. So that was my concern. But one of the things that I was concerned about the whole year, it wasn't the fact that we lost Watt. It was, I went to training camp this summer, and I watched those guys. I spent a couple of days up there, me and Merle Hodge. And the offensive line was what I was concerned about because they were never in sync. And if you look at most of the games that they lost today, that offensive line wasn't in sync, man. And I saw that immediately at training camp, but it seemed like they kind of pulled it together, later on during the season. And today, I watched Najee. Najee had some good runs today.
Yes,
man.
He did.
And I saw those holes opening up, man. And I was like, okay, here we go. A little too late, though. You know what I mean? So.
Have you ever had an injury like he had?
Najee, did he tweak his ankle or something?
No, he had a Liz Frank.
No, I tore ligaments in my ankle. I had separated shoulder, broke fingers. I never had a knee injury at Pittsburgh. My worst knee injury came at University of Georgia, where it knocked me out for almost 2 years. And yeah.
When you get an injury at camp, though, does it seem to linger for a little bit longer than you really wanted to because camp goes so quick and you're hitting the ground running?
Yeah, it does. And you have time. There's that time where you're sitting, you can't practice, and it seems like it takes forever, but you want to sit and let that thing heal, whatever the case may be. Just like TJ, man. I mean, what is he, tear his pec muscle? I mean, he was out for 6 weeks, and you can tell that his presence was missed. Now that he's back, that defense have really picked it up, man.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, a little too late now, but man, it's, what a great way to finish the season so you can go into the next season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Steelers are young, man, and I just know that they'll be right next year.
Oh yeah,
I think so too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Watson, you replacing Dan Moore Jr.?
What's that?
Excuse me.
You replacing Dan Moore Jr. at the left tackle?
I'm bringing somebody in, whether it's a rookie, or a free agent. Absolutely, you got to bring somebody in. Competition, that usually breeds brings out the best in you. So you gotta challenge them. You got to challenge all of them, and not only just to get better.
Yeah.
And as he said earlier, we did make strides on that offensive line this year as the season went along. So you don't want to stop there. You got to bring some people in and make those guys work. Now you got to make them work.
I almost think that one of those tackles we have this year can be turned into a swing tackle, and then you can bring in another. Like, I'd like to see them. I heard today that Chicago's got the overall #1 pick next year, which means their first pick in the second round is number 32 because Miami had to forfeit their pick because all that cheating crap they were doing.
Yeah.
So now Pittsburgh basically has 2 of the first 32 picks. So what do you do here? Do you go offensive line, defensive line? Because you got to replenish that defensive line. What do you say, Sheen?
Well, me, I go best available at that point. I'm looking at, what's on the board, because in the first round, there could be somebody sitting there, that's a stud. You don't want to overlook it, even though you might not need it, but it's best available in that first round to me.
That's a Chuck Noll philosophy right there.
Yeah. I think the way we finished up the season, we know right now, right away, what we need. I would definitely go for a stud at offensive line, maybe guard or tackle. And definitely Cam need help on that defensive line, man.
Yeah.
Cam's getting a little older. And I think the defensive line was struggled a little bit this year, but
he's
I
definitely
think
getting older, but he needs to be. Why wasn't he in Pro Bowl? This is ridiculous. The man, DJ's out. He anchored that defense. He's a pro. Huh?
I agree, man. I agree.
What are you saying, Kevin?
He's a boss, man. Cam, he's a boss. I like him, and he's
no
tough.
Back up. He don't back no one up. He anchored that defense. I'm a homer, but it's beside the point. Is anyone else watching the Steelers this year?
No.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, I'm fired up.
At the end of the day, too. At the end of the day, I think his brother ended up being a nice addition. At the end of the day,
he complimented him, and so did Connor.
Right. His brother had a great game today.
Yes, he did.
He made an incredible catch down the middle, and I was like, wow. And then he almost scored.
Yeah.
And
he's a big boy.
I was surprised. I didn't know he was that good.
Did you know his dad?
I played with Craig, man. Ironhead. We were teammates in Chicago for 2 years.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Man, this dude, they had Craig Ironhead. We call him Ironhead. He had a big old head.
Yeah.
But
you say iron, I say head.
They had him listed at 6 foot, like 275. But you know what? I was there with him. He was 6 foot. 320, bro, playing fullback,
Oh my gosh.
Dude, hey, listen. And when I played with the Bears, they were the Steelers. They never really bugged us about our weight, And I was a consistent between 228, 232. That's what I played at. And Ironhead, every Thursday, we would weigh in every Wednesday or Thursday. He would just dish out thousands of dollars for being overweight. He didn't care. He just had it set aside. Here you go, $2,000, because it was like $50 a pound, right? And so it was crazy, man. I thought that was hilarious.
What was his favorite meal?
Everything. You know what, though? He was the type of guy, I never really sit down and see him just pig out. He would just nibble on stuff. You know what I mean? But what was amazing is he was kind of like a bear. You see how big a grizzly bear can get? But he could move, dude. He had like quick feet, kind of like Bettis. Bettis was huge, but he had the quickest feet I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's amazing.
We used to go to the pit games when Ironhead played there. Ironhead is my age. And we used to go to the pit games. They'd hand out the Ironhead, like the face thing. Half the state would say, "You say iron." The other half would say, "You say Ironhead." It was fun.
I know we're getting off the subject, but I got a story about Ironhead. That's just so many stories that I could talk about with Ironhead that would just totally have you laughing for years, man. We were at a club one night in Chicago, and we would get ready. We had a limo, and so it was me, him, and a couple of more guys, and we're coming down the steps, and he slipped and he fell down the steps, right? And you could just hear him, "Oh, Lord, please, Jesus, help me." He's falling down the steps, dude, and then he hit his feet, and then he fell down the other roll of steps, hit his feet. The door was open to the front, to the establishment and the limo, and he just fell into the limo, and we took off. Dude, I laughed so hard.
What they call curbside.
Man.
Was McMahon there when you were there?
Huh?
Was McMahon there when you were there?
No, when I went to the Bears, I came in, I played with a couple of Super Bowl guys. I played with the Fridge, I played with McMichael, I played with Richard Dent, I played with big what's the big offensive lineman from out of SC? Sean Gale, Dante Jones, all those cats. Donnell Wooford, So yeah, man. And then Merle Hodge came along the next year, So that was pretty cool.
Hey, who ate more, Fridge or Ironhead?
Fridge. Listen, Fridge would eat $100 worth of McDonald's food. Now you think about that. $100 worth of McDonald's food. You know how many Big Macs that is, bro?
Oh my gosh.
That's 20 Big Macs, man. Or more.
Hey, he still couldn't beat Joey Chestnut in a hot dog contest, though. I mean, he tried one time, but he ain't getting a hot dog contest.
Oh,
But
shit.
the dude, listen, man, the fridge, William Refrigerator Perry, probably the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. The guy was so nice and polite, and they don't come any better than him, man.
You still
so I got a
touch with
chance to play with him half of a season in 1993.
You still talk to him? You ever see him?
I don't talk to William. I haven't talked to him in a while. Matter of fact, I think right around, he almost died, I want to say about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
William was what, 6'1", and he had got up to 400 pounds, and then, he had drank a lot, and he lost, dude. He got down to 190 pounds.
Oh, my.
And he got help, and he's doing great now. That's what I hear. I think he's still back in Aiken, South Carolina, right next to Augusta.
Yeah.
So he's like the dorm room fridge now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just a super guy, man. And I keep in touch with me and Merrill Hodge, we talk just about twice a week. You know what I mean? Bubby Brister, I talk to him. And so, yeah, man, I try to keep in touch with as much guys as possible because, guys are getting up out of here, man. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. Hats off to Franco. He set the stage. Did you have any interaction with Frank? I'm sure you had interaction with Franco.
Well, I met Franco when I was a rookie. I met pretty much all the guys, the Super Bowl guys from the 70s and the early 80s. And I never really established a relationship with Franco, but I was more closer to Rocky Blyer. And of course, Mean Joe Green. Joe Green was a good friend. Mel Blount, Donnie Shell, all those guys. We all played golf together. John Stallworth, good friend, man. Yeah, hardcore guys, man, but you got to love it.
Yeah, we got down a rabbit hole there, but I love those stories you get to tell. Hey, fourth quarter, we knew this thing was in hand. I mean, legit, we're going to talk about Pickett for a minute in a little while, but, like you could sense this team had control of the game. No matter what was going on in front of them, they kept it in front of them. They knew what they were doing. But that penalty on Hayward, I don't know, man.
2 weeks in a row, bro. Come on.
That was insane. Like you're taking the fundamentals out of football when you can't tackle somebody.
That's 2 weeks in a row, though. That wasn't a penalty last week. It wasn't a penalty this week. And listen, Deshaun Watson's a beast. Yeah. They couldn't get him down. He was very elusive.
Yes, he was.
He's strong, man.
He is thick. And Cam's like, listen, I'm taking this under control. He didn't slam him. He didn't land on him. He tackled his ass. And to call that penalty is bullshit.
And at the end of the day,
he had no other option. And he just did what his instincts told him. Tackle.
I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the day, I've always felt like, these officials blow so many calls, and with instant replay now, if you legit blow a call, even with instant replay, they should fine these guys. They fine players for doing dumb shit.
My wife said the same thing. She's like, why don't they put the referees under review? Put them under review. They blown some calls.
That one pass interference. I don't know if you guys caught what Coach T did. That one pass interference on George where he caught the ball. He's just. I know he's a Georgia Bulldog, but he's a straight up dog on the football field. He caught that ball. That dude was hanging all over him. And you saw Coach T go flying down the sidelines, and they moved that camera. I don't know what he was saying to that guy on the sidelines, but you could tell he was hot. I mean,
I think it was pass interference both times. The one up the field and the quick pass that he caught, but he was on the ground. It was totally pass interference.
Yeah, and then the one
he stick on that subject real quick with the Pickens and then throwing the ball up. I'm just gonna put this out there. Next year, if we don't have at least 4 or 5 of those a game where we just throwing them up to this dude, I mean that just throw 4 or 5 of them.
He needs 10 to
3 of them.
He needs 10 to 15. He needs 10 to 15 targets a game.
My God,
he's that guy. He's that guy. If you put it up, he's gonna go get it.
And that's another challenge. They went 2 back shoulders in a row. He caught the first. The second was a catch. Throw the red flag. I don't think Tomlin brought his red flag today. That was another challenge. He caught it.
But that was also early. I mean, we can't just keep throwing the red flag at everything.
Right.
That was early.
No. That was the fourth quarter.
Was it? Okay.
That back shoulder catch.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the one where he had the two toes?
That
was sick.
Yeah.
I know he thinks that way. You know, when they asked George, what was your best catch you ever had? He talks about that one he had at practice at Georgia. But I'll tell you what, I've seen him make some catches this year. They've been
he's not going to drop the ball too much. You know, I'm back and forth flipping. I'm paying attention to the Dolphins. I knew Buffalo was going to walk away from the Patriots, but I was like, the Dolphins, come on, Jets. And all of a sudden, they kicked the field goal. I was like,
Actually, that was the second quarter. You're right, Rasheen. That was the second quarter, that back shoulder. They didn't challenge.
I think at this point, Flacco needs to go ahead and hang him up because he can't lead the Jets down the field. But who was the Jets running back today?
Like, I've never
heard of that dude. They're about
help, buddy.
4 or 5 deep.
What you mean, Bam Knight?
Yeah, who is that dude?
I thought it was Knight.
The pickup. He was Bam Knight. He was a fantasy darling for me this year. Come on now. Yeah.
What happened to James Washington? They traded for James Washington when Breece Hall went down.
Oh, you're talking about Washington from the Jags? No, I think he somehow got in the doghouse.
He got hurt.
They were running with. They had a running back named Johnson. They had Bam Knight, and they had another one, Carter. They were running with those three when all that happened. I don't know what happened to the guy from Jacksonville, though.
That boy Breece Hall is going to be legit.
Yeah,
it's going to be legit. I like him. Hey, how about this? At the end of the day, the Steelers don't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Do we feel remorse because they don't make the playoffs? Or is this something that they brought on themselves? They lost a New England game they should have won. They lost a Miami game they should have won. They lost to a third-string Ravens quarterback they should have beat. And they lost that game to the Jets. I was sitting there watching that shit. I didn't move for 20 minutes after that game. I was in shock and awe. You
passed out, but
those games were all supposed to be winnable games. They came after playing your Buffaloes and your Cincinnati games.
Mm-hmm.
So
but at the time, we weren't the better team. Right. Some of those games you mentioned, we were not the better team at those particular times, at those points. Now, we go back and replay those games, we would be the better team. Right. And I think we win. Right. So, it's.
Yeah. I agree.
That's how I ran into a Cowboy fan. He's like, you expect to win every game. Like, hell yeah, we expect to win every game. But I think Kevin hit the nail on the head. We weren't the better team.
Yeah. I was actually at the Jets game back in October.
Yeah.
Me and my son. And we should have won that game. I mean, we played pretty good. I think that's when Pickett made his debut.
Yeah. Came in the second half. He came in the second half without any reps as first-team quarterback all year.
Yep. And he played good. And you know what, guys? This is what I see. I see, with something to build on. Steelers turned it around. It kind of reminded me of the '89 season we had when I was a rookie, but we got a wild card bid because we started out horrible, if you guys remember that. I fumbled 3 times. Missed all the training camp, and the timing was just off. And I think we got beat 56-0. Then we go to Cincinnati the next week, get beat 48-6, and all of a sudden we just turn it around. Get a bid in the playoffs. And but that team, just the season right now, kind of reminded me of that. And these guys got a whole lot to build on for next year. And I think Najee's comfortable. He's going to get better. You got the kid that's backing him up, number 30. I think he's tough.
Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, he's tough. I love the way he runs. He's strong. And you got the receiving core, man. And you got a solid overall athlete at quarterback.
How about the
I think these guys are gonna. I think they'll make the playoffs next year.
Tight end room is pretty damn good now.
Yeah. So what happened to number 88? What happened to him?
Tweaked his knee.
Okay.
Tweaked his knee.
I think if they make the right moves in this offseason, yes, this is a team that can go to the playoffs and go pretty far a long way in the playoffs. Just making the right choices this year. Don't pinch pennies on guys. Like the DBs they did this past year. Like Watson said, if we can find a tackle that we can bring in to push guys. And if they draft right, again, it's the draft. I mean, I went and looked at a couple Colbert drafts, and he was hitting 2 for 7 and 3 for 8. He was pretty bad.
Yeah. We'll be a 10+ win game next year. I just believe it. I see it. They got talent, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of talent. We just
Don't forget, they play a third place schedule too next year.
Okay.
They play a third place schedule. So that's going to have a lot to, I haven't seen the schedule yet. I don't know who they play in the other conference or anything, but
NFC
I
West.
could see this team winning 12 games.
The West?
Yep.
Yeah,
Me too, man.
NFC West.
I could see.
Yep.
Oh, they play the West next
everybody
year?
healthy, though.
Well, depending on which one of those teams comes out to Pittsburgh, you bring San Francisco to Pittsburgh, you bring Seattle to Pittsburgh, that's good.
We go to Seattle, San Fran comes to us.
Okay, how about Arizona and the Rams?
I want to say the Rams come to us.
Give me a second.
And then we're away for the other one, I believe.
That's this year's.
The Rams are in turmoil too.
Yeah,
they're going to be an upside down team next year.
Then I think
I like Baker Mayfield.
The loser of Green Bay, Detroit.
Last couple more times.
How do you see? This is what I don't understand, though. I guess free agency. How do you win the Super Bowl and then you come back the next year and you can barely win a game? I just don't get that, man.
They're 5.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They won 5-6 games.
Yeah, I thought they got rid of a lot of guys too, because I remember last year they had guys next to Aaron Donald, and now it was just a bunch of guys like me and Terry playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Sheen?
Man,
come on.
And then once the QB went down, that was a wrap.
Hey, I have Auto Crown. I can take anyone off.
You're right. Once my man went down, that was it.
Yeah. Akers. You also didn't get anything out of Akers this year. Like the
QB's out. QB's out. They got backups.
Cup got hurt.
OBJ's not there.
Not everybody builds their team like the Steelers organization.
Woods isn't there.
They hang around at 500, maybe go a few games over. Then the next thing you know, they explode for 2-3 years and they make that run to the Super Bowl. And then they have to regroup financially. Right now, you've got Pickett for 4 more years. If you'll sign him to his extended rookie contract, that 5th-year signing. So you got him on the cheap. This is where you spend your money. You got to spend your money now in the NFL when you got your quarterback on the cheap. You've got Najee on the cheap right now. He's going to get a 5th year. Let me throw this out at you, men. If somebody came at you and said, we'll give you a 3rd and a 5th for Deontay Johnson, what do you do?
Take him.
What do you do?
Why not, Watson?
Huh?
Why not?
Because right now you look at that receiving room and who's the oldest guy in there?
It don't matter.
Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does.
I disagree.
Somebody got to be in there to keep those guys. I like the word level-headed, to keep them working. There's nobody else.
What'd you say about the O-line? Bring a veteran in. Bring a veteran wide receiver in. And have him be the stealth,
The receivers are a different breed, man. They're a different breed. They work a little bit different. The mentality is a little bit different.
You can have 85, 90 catches. He didn't produce. He didn't have 1 touchdown. He had a 2-point conversion. He catches the ball on a 5-yard out and he runs backwards 3 yards.
Who led us in receiving?
He drops.
Who led us in catches? Who led us in catches?
It don't matter who led him.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't, because he did not produce. That's like Ben last year. He led him in.
He led us in catches and he led us in yards.
I disagree.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You take him out of the room and you get younger, that's a problem. I'm telling you, that's a problem.
You got Pickens. He's the dog. You just said it earlier in the show.
He is, but he'll be on his 2nd year. He's not ready to take that on. Don't let him play ball.
Let me ask you guys a question. What about my man that went over to the Bears? You guys think that was a good call there? Get rid of him?
Get a number 1 for him.
Looks like that was a good call. Looks like that was a good call. Yeah. And you got rid of one of the issues in the room, it looks like to me. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in there.
I didn't know that there was issues with him like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it really showed. He left and that's when things kind of went boom.
Oh, wow.
So, with them,
There's a reason he fell to where he did in the draft with that size and speed. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because he's a big kid, man. 6'6", what is he? 6'4", 6'5", 230.
You saw him at camp. He's a big bastard for a receiver.
Yeah, he is, man. He's huge.
But he had alligator arms on the high ball. Like high ball, they teach you that in Little League, and I don't understand. They couldn't do high ball. Like that's Little League stuff. I don't know how. I don't know how. Kind of.
My problem with him was Pickett's very first throw. He went downfield, right? He goes right to Claypool, right? What's Claypool doing? He's falling down with his alligator arms, hits off his hands, goes to a guy. Who gets credited for the interception? Pickett gets, it's on Pickett.
Exactly. I remember that. That was the Jets game. That was the Jets game. Yeah.
The only thing about Deontay, number 8, I think, he's a great route runner. I'm not buying into his leadership. You think he's a great leader for that core? They can find a leader. I don't think he's producing.
He's unfound.
Listen, the problem
they're created, and the Steelers are going to create them. That's what they've done.
The problem to be able to lead is natural, my man. It's natural.
Nah.
You lead with your play.
The problem
he's not playing. He's not leading now.
The problem with Deontay is at some point Pickens is going to need that money. So
he's got 2 years.
He's a 2-year deal. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to get rid of him. It's a 2-year deal.
So do you go ahead and grab a guy in around the 3rd or 4th round? How about if Jordan Anderson's hanging out there in the 2nd round? You've got 2 first-round picks. Let's just call those 2 first-round picks, the Steelers and the Bears, wherever the Steelers are, and the Bears at 32, okay? If Jordan Anderson's there high in the 2nd round when the Steelers get their 2nd-round pick, do you grab a kid like him? Do you grab the kid from Tennessee in the 3rd or 4th round? The kid from Tennessee's legit. He's big. He's strong. He can run and catch.
He won't be there.
Let me ask you guys a question. So we're at 15 right now, right?
Yeah. 18.
18. So do we trade back for more picks? Because do we need a stud?
I think at the 18 spot, I think that actually that might help us get the tackle from Ohio State. He might fall to about
Paris Johnson Jr.
spot.
So we ain't trading. So we're not going to more picks.
But I'm just saying, if you look at that, he might fall to that spot. And you're saying we need a tackle. There he is.
I got you.
Hey Tim, how important is it to have that backside tackle for a right-handed quarterback, that left tackle? How important is that guy on the field?
It's very important. That's you can get killed coming from that side if you don't have that protection over there. It's very important. That left tackle, that's the money position, man. That's the money position. I had a chance to play. Let me see. Was Tunch on the left side or the right side? Tunch, rest in peace, brother. Tunch Yokin, but probably the smallest tackle in the game, but he could play. Yeah. His football knowledge was unbelievable. Terry Long, probably the smallest guard. Terry Long was 5'11", 5'10", playing guard in the NFL. Unbelievable, man. And then we had Big Justin Strausnick. I think he played left tackle.
Yeah, he did.
Big John, what was John's name?
Wasn't it Johnson?
Big John, I can't. You had Rhino, and then you had Big John. I forget John's name. From out of Eastern Kentucky. I can't remember.
Who you're talking about.
Yeah, big old guys, man. But that left tackle position is really important. Very important.
You gotta be circling that position or the D line. What happens if Jalen Carter's sitting there by some chance?
Jackson.
Don Jackson. That's it. You're right, buddy. You're right.
Don Jackson. Yep. Yeah. What happens if Jalen Carter's sitting at 18?
Take him.
You talk about shoring up the defensive line.
Take him, but he won't.
Now, Wichita might be there, though.
Who?
Breezy.
Oh, no.
He's a local boy to us. Timmy, he's a local boy to us. Well, most of us saw him play through high school and stuff.
Did he go to Pitt?
No, he went
Clemson.
to Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Okay.
We ain't going to do that, Tim. He didn't go to Pitt. No. Heck no.
Okay.
He wasn't good enough to go to Pitt. He went to Clemson.
Okay.
So what? Take Clancy? That's too hot for him. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how this all falls out. You know, I wanted to do this with you guys. Exit interviews, huge. Tim, how important was the exit interview when you were walking out of the room? I mean, what was that conversation like?
Say that again.
How important was the exit interview for you at the end of the season when you sat down and you met with the coach and they told you what, you know, basically what your season unfolded like and what they expected for next year?
Okay. For me, after my rookie year, I ended up proving myself. It was a good conversation with Chuck Noll. I finished strong. Started out horrible, but I finished strong. And I was looking for great things, you know, for the team and for myself during my contract with the Steelers. But for me, you know, I got defocused. I was more concerned about having fun off the field than I was my job. You know what I mean? And so I tell you this, after Chuck Noll left, all right. One of the people I always had in my pocket was on my side was Mean Joe Green. Joe Green would complain to the coaches about how they were utilizing him, right? And one of the things he would always tell Joe Walton, you remember Joe Walton? He was offensive coordinator. He was like, man, why y'all got this guy in a 3-point stand blocking instead of putting him 8 yards deep and giving him the ball? That's why you drafted him, right? And I used to always be like, yeah, I love you, Joe Green, you know what I mean? But when Bill Cowher came in, and we talked about this, Mark, Bill Cowher came in, I was one of the first guys he called to the office and he wanted to talk to. And he realized, you know, what went wrong, and he wanted to utilize my best gifts at the tailback position, putting me 8 yards deep and letting me have the ball. Okay, sure. That's what I did at Georgia. I was strong at Georgia, right? And so he told me and promised me, he said, we will surround the offense around you and we will give you the ball 30 to 35 times a game. That's what I wanted. But as we all know, I went out, you know, young and dumb and sabotaged it. Okay. And then Barry Foster took over. But the Steelers had, even when I was screwing up, they had no point, had thought about getting rid of me. A lot of people don't know this, but they thought Cowher and I was beefing. We were never beefing. I just asked him to trade me because I needed a fresh start. You know what I mean? And Cowher, he was one of those guys that supported me and just asked me what could he do for me. This is during the 93 season, you know, and because I was backing up there. Huh?
How old were you then? I know you came out early, right?
I came out of Georgia my redshirt junior year. Yep. And I was about to turn 28. And I was 28 when I went over to the Bears. But Bill Cowher came back and said to me, he said, listen, there are 5 teams right now, 4 or 5 teams that are interested in you coming in right now and playing. And he named them: Green Bay, Tampa Bay, all the NFC, whatever it is, North, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Chicago, Arizona. And there was one more team that was interested. I think it was the Falcons. And me, the way I was thinking, I was like, okay. Dave Weinstead, brand new coach with the Bears, he was really wanting me to come in. So I said, Chicago, Michael Jordan, nightlife. I'm going to Chicago, right? But so that's how that happened. And but Bill Cowher, man, just our conversation. Chuck Noll taught me a lot, guys, a whole lot. People don't know this, but Chuck Noll personally handpicked me. And he did it not because of my running ability, it was because of my blocking ability. You know what I mean? And people forget that Chuck Noll blocked for Jim Brown. So he knew, you know what I mean? And Cowher and I had a great relationship. You know, he pretty much was on my side, and he pretty much did what I asked him to do, man. And I thank him for that. A lot of the Steeler fans thought we hated each other. No, that wasn't the case. Let's just set the record straight with that. Cowher and I never hated each other. I love the guy, you know, but yeah.
The Hall of Fame coach.
I kind of got off the question. Huh?
He's a Hall of Fame coach. You figure at the end of the day, the Steelers have had 3 Hall of Fame coaches in a row when you count Mike Tomlin.
You know what? Yeah, and this is what I was telling people. I was like, dude, do you realize in 53 years, the Steelers only had 3 head coaches? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. It just speaks to the organization.
Yeah.
You know, Tomlin's not going anywhere.
In 53 years, some people are lucky to have 3 husbands.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy, man.
But hey, Tim, you said you were looking to tote the rock for 30 to 35 times a game.
Yes,
That's unheard of today, right?
Totally unheard of. And even at UGA, man. When you think about the way we used to do it, how we old school football, the gaps are smaller. We didn't spread the field with spread offense, so we ran the ball. You know what I mean? And at Georgia, Herschel Walker, when at his time, he toted the ball. There was one game he carried the ball, I want to say 52 times against Florida, and we were kind of used to that. But Georgia, all the great backs that we had at the same time on the same team, we had the split time. So the most carries I ever got at Georgia in a game was 25 carries. 25 carries. So I averaged probably 15 carries a game. The most ever carry was 25.
Who were you there with?
I was there with Rodney Hampton, first round pick for the Giants. Nice. We were in the backfield together. I was there with Lars Tate, second round pick for the Buccaneers. God bless him. He died this year. Keith Henderson, third round pick for the 49ers at fullback. David McCluskey with the Bengals. And then you had, after me came, Cleveland Gary was there, but he transferred
down to Miami.
Yeah, and he was a first round pick. And then after us, Garrison Hurst came in.
Oh, yeah.
Terrell Davis. All those cats came in, man. But it's kind of like the group that we have today. You have the Sony Michels, the Nick Chubbs, you had the Ty Gurley, the Keith Marshalls. You got, you had the kid from out of my homeboy up the street here from Scotland County, Zeus, that played with the Raiders, Zamir White. Yeah. And we just were stacked with running backs, man. But I just believe Georgia now is becoming a D-line and a linebacker school. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's a passing game. That's why. To be honest with you, you let a guy walk and there's 10 guys that you can replace him with, and they don't have to be first round picks anymore.
Exactly.
It's not like that. And that's the one thing the Steelers, they've always had an eye for linebackers, and they've always had an eye for receivers. But the problem is right now we don't have an eye for linebackers. Although I like the Robertson kid, 93. He's legit.
He's stepping up.
Yeah.
He missed a couple of days. Yes.
He's a thumper, man. He's going to come in there. He's going to take away the run. He reminds me so much of Vince Williams. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He just,
guys like guys that I play with, the Kevin Greens, God bless his soul, Greg Lloyd and David Little. Some of those guys couldn't play today, man. No. They couldn't play because they get kicked out the game every play. Literally, man. Yeah. Greg Lloyd's probably one of the toughest.
They make Cam look soft. They make Cam look soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I hated blocking Greg Lloyd in practice, dude. I'm serious.
Let me ask you a question, Tim. There's a story that the Steelers were playing the Chargers out in San Diego. I think they were getting ran over, and they said they came into the locker room. Guys were drinking Gatorade, and Greg Lloyd knocked it all down and said, "Nobody gets Gatorade."
That's true.
Oh my God.
That's true. That was Greg Lloyd, man. That dude there, let me tell you something. He's a friend of mine. I love him. But when you were on the field, brother, he wasn't your friend. I'm telling you, listen, man. We used to be in he used to drive me crazy because I used to get mad and I want to fight him, you know what I mean? Because when you went to block him in practice, he's an expert in Taekwondo and all that stuff. I did all that stuff too, man, but I didn't take it to the level that he did. But listen, you go to block him in practice, and he had a way that he would take his forearm and if you drop your head, he would hit you in the back of the neck, dude. And he would pretty much paralyze you. You wouldn't want to block him no more, man. He used to drive me nuts. And Kevin was so quick with his hands, I was just like, practice. The games were easy, man, because of the practices we had.
Yeah. Yeah. Great team. Hey, a couple more thoughts, you guys. I was going to do exit interviews, but thumbs up or thumbs down. You keep Terrell Edmonds, you re-sign him?
For the love. I'm going to do this. No up or down. I'm going to go sideways.
I'm going right here. I'm looking, you know, I'm looking.
Tim,
You know what I mean?
I like Casey though.
Tim, what you got?
Casey's a player.
I'm gonna go up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep. How about
I was
Steven
never a
Sims?
fan, but I think
he's consistent. Don't get me wrong. He's very consistent.
Very consistent.
and that's what helped. He didn't hurt, but he's consistent.
Let's go back.
Okay.
Oh, let's go back. Does that mean, because his contract's up, does that mean same? Because he don't get more money.
Who? Terrell? Terrell ain't getting more money. He got $4 million for this year.
His contract up is my question.
Right.
Is it?
His contract's up. He was on a 1-year deal. Remember, they didn't sign him to his fifth year rookie contract. He didn't get the 5th year.
Okay, so if he comes back low, yes. But if he wants more, I'll say no.
Okay. All right. How about Dan Moore Jr.? Does he stick around at that starting left tackle, or is that the place we're gonna go ahead and get somebody and put him in there? Let him be a swing guy.
Yeah, I think they're going to challenge him in that position. I think that's a position that they need. They need help in.
Competition.
I agree.
Competition.
I'm saying back because he has the what's it called when you've already played? He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Right, he's a veteran.
He has the what's the word I'm looking for?
Experience.
Yes, I'm sorry. There you go.
What the hell are you drinking tonight?
Hey, how about this kid, Steven Sims?
I think he can take over a team spot.
Ooh.
He's not that skilled.
No.
Watson, he was targeted 10 times. He caught it 2 times.
Stop. No.
Targeted 10, caught it 2.
I don't know about that, boss.
Targeted 10, caught it twice.
Oh, that's
25
You know what?
yards.
You know, this is what the Sims do. This is what he and I don't know. We need a slot receiver. We need somebody on the inside. We need a true slot receiver.
That's not.
He might be that guy.
And where's Austin go?
Who?
Calvin Austin.
Yeah, you forgot about him. That's
He's
going to be a hell of a
he's
camp battle.
He's your trick.
I'll say that much.
He's your trick, man. He's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, because
Everywhere.
As long as he's not like Dre Archer,
everywhere.
I'm good.
Okay.
He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be out wide. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to be the guy in motion.
He's going to be on the bench because they use him.
He's going to be everywhere.
Is this in Canada's offense or someone else's new offense?
Yeah, that was
this would be somebody else.
I got that question here. Are you bringing him back? But let's talk about Pickett real quick. Well, I got one more guy. Highsmith.
I think he played himself out of time.
Do you sign him? Do you try and sign him in camp though?
Yes, you got to try.
Try and sign him in camp.
You got to try.
Do you extend Ogunjobi? Because I thought Ogunjobi did a fantastic job.
Depends on what you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of money you got to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on a lot. Yeah.
Thoughts on Pickett?
I like Ogunjobi's face mask they didn't call. I mean,
Yeah.
Pickett.
Watson.
Thoughts
on Pickett?
Sign him.
Yeah, he got better as the year went on.
Yes. I saw some things that, you at the beginning, I was like, oh man, I was a little bit worried about. But then as you can just see, more confidence. And then when he had those 2 game-winning drives, I'm sold.
Right. Two games ago, remember we said Pickett ain't it.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the Pickett train.
Yeah. Timmy, you've been in that locker room and you've been in that huddle. Is he a natural born leader or are they following him?
I feel like he's a natural born leader. I mean, the way Najee Harris talks about him, I think he'll be the Steelers guy for the next, really solid for the next 5 years, man. I just do if he stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concussion thing needs to.
Yeah.
I could see him being a 10-year guy because he's 24, but I agree with you.
Did he get 2 this year or 1?
He had 2 within a month.
Because so did Tua. And what's going on with these young guys? I mean, like they got the extra large helmets now, and they just
but did you see Tua's concussions? That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between.
Yeah, Tua went down again. Guys, I never had I never got diagnosed with a concussion.
And that's crazy because Merrill, that's what he's known for, right?
Yeah, Merrill. I watched Merrill get knocked out 2 times in the same year, dude. It was scary. it was actually scary. We played a preseason game. He was with the Bears. We were both in the backfield together with the Bears. Preseason game in Kansas City, and had a great 12-yard pickup, and he got hit, dude, and he literally, you could see he didn't know where he was. But he's steady running the play. You understand what I'm saying? It was like automatic. And then I watched him get hit in a regular season game against Buffalo at Soldier Field. We're in the game again. And Cornelius Bennett, Darryl Talley, and another guy, they just clocked him. And, the face mask is iron, right? Yeah. The thing was bent. Dude didn't know where he was for a week, man. He didn't even know his wife.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he didn't, man. And it was kind of scary. And that's when he retired.
I'm about to say, let it go.
My mother told me that she said, boy, when I was 10 years old, she said, boy, you got a hard head. You know what I mean? So she prophesied over me. And I never got diagnosed with a concussion. I mean, but they say you don't have to have a concussion. It said the fact that your brain is being bounced around on the stem like that over and over, they said, probably cause some damage. Most of the damage, guys, is when you find stuff on the sides of your head. That's where the real damage come in. I got a lot of buddies now that are early stages of dementia, man. Yeah. Guys that I played with. But my damage was pretty much, a little protein in the front, the front lobe, and but I never got knocked out, dude. Never got knocked out.
That's good.
Yeah, Strelzik really with the CTE.
Yeah, man.
Terry Long.
Yep. I took that movie personal, man. I watched it one time. I don't ever want to watch it again.
Yeah,
I ball, man, because I played with those guys.
I'll bet that. I can't. Yeah, I've watched it one time. I can't revisit it. And I teach that stuff. I teach concussion stuff, and I'll show a clip here and there, and I talk about it. But it's hard.
It's real, man. It was real, and I didn't get a chance to meet Mike Webster. I met his son and knew his son, but just what Mike went through, man, it was hard for me to watch, dude. Dave Duerson, cats like that. Waters, even Junior Seau. I knew.
Yeah, I was just saying, Seau, we went to the Hall of Fame for that induction, and his daughter gave it. That was hard.
Yeah.
It was sad.
It was really so many guys, man. There's so many guys out there. Lars Tate and I was in the backfield together in Georgia. We were pretty much best friends, and he was dealing with it bad, man. But he had a heart attack and he had esophagus cancer. But the heart attack is what killed him.
Wow.
So 56, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Do we keep Canada? And if you don't, where are you going?
Oh man. Well, I'm going someone younger. I don't know. I don't like that offense, man. It's like he came into the they had the what's it called? He met up with Tomlin and he said, "Hey, come on in here. Let me show you this offense Chuck Knowles taught me." Like, come on, man. We can't do that
The only
anymore.
creativity I saw today, and it was twice. One time he ran Derek Watt this way. He gave Connor the ball this way, and then he reversed it.
Yeah,
Connor this way, Derek this way. I was like, that's the most creative the offense went.
That's a wing T play, right? That shit I ran at Watkins Mill back in 2000.
That's the most creative he got.
We call it
deception,
Sally,
creativity, misdirection. Do something different.
Yeah.
Dude's gone.
He ran Sally today twice for big gainers.
All
that nice size gains.
Yeah, do something. Get rid of them and bring some fresh air to it. Tomlin brought them back from 2-6 in November, and I think he rah-rahed them to get 9-8. Keep to him. Someone else got to bring in the offense.
Hey man, check this out. 1990, was it 91? My first couple of years, it was Tom Moore was offensive coordinator, and then I think 91 they brought in Joe Walton and from the Jets. His offense made me start disliking football. You know what I mean? Dude, it was just so difficult, man. I'm telling you, his offensive playbook was as thick as a suitcase, bro.
Oh my God.
You had to know what everybody was doing.
And
why?
Hated it. I don't know. I hated it. Ask Bubby Brister. Bubby Brister would tell you he hated that freaking offense, and it was just difficult. But,
Hell, Joe Lowe got a stadium named after him now, Tim. Out of Robert Morris. He got a stadium named after him.
Yeah, man. Did he pass away?
I believe he did. Yeah.
That's the only way you get a stadium named after you, right?
Well, okay. Well, you're right. But yeah, man, he was just a difficult. I was like, how did I get through that, man?
At the end of the day, as a fan watching that shit, I drank a lot. I just got to be honest with you.
You brought up maybe Bobby Brister like 2 or 3 times now, and that makes I almost fell off my seat. Did you like working with the guy? Like, I mean, he didn't.
Bubby and I were cool.
He made it to the league, and I got admirations for that, but like, he didn't do nothing for us as a fan.
Bubby was my guy, man. You know what I mean? When I played there, man, I'm gonna tell you the guys that I hung out with. It's me, Bubby. Merle and I didn't really hang that much. I was a little on the wild side. Me and Bubby and cats like Eric Green.
Oh Lord,
Derek Hill. Y'all remember Eric Green?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have an Eric Green story. I seen him at that was Thursday, so we were at Chauncey's, I believe. He walked.
Tim. 2 for 1 ladies night,
man.
2 for 1 ladies night. Yes. He was been there, done that.
Yeah. Chauncey's, Donzi's, the Metropole, all those places, man. And we go soak up all the alcohol at Permane Brothers.
Get yourself a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That was so much fun, guys. So much fun.
Yeah, he was walking, and he was holding out for more money. And I said, "Hey, how much money do you need?" He said, "How much is too?" He kept walking.
He was a big boy, though.
Yeah, man. The dude was 6'5", and he had hips like a woman. You know what I mean? Big old dude, man. And he was good. He was really good.
He was. He kind of ate himself out of Pittsburgh, though.
Yeah.
Big Bird. With Myron Cook. Big Bird.
Yeah.
Wow. Where'd he go?
Liberty. He went to Miami, man. He played for the Dolphins, and he played for the Jets.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was it. Most dudes leave Pittsburgh, though, Tim. Would you agree with this? Most dudes leave Pittsburgh, and that's it. They kind of fade into the abyss. It
seems like it. Yep. I know when I left, I ended up spending 2.5 years with the Bears. Like I said, I kind of screwed that whole situation up myself because I finished with the Bears very strong. I came in and Neil Anderson, you guys remember him?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the tailback. He was a starting tailback. Him and Ironhead, and we had a guy named Bobby Christian. He was a fullback. Robert Green, a little third down guy. Curtis Conway at receiver. Jeff Graham came over. But I finished strong with the Bears, and they were looking for me to come in and take that position and be very productive in '94. But of course, during their all season, I had to run in with the police. They ended up bringing Lewis Tillman, free agent from the Giants. Yeah, he backed up Rodney Hampton.
Maraday, I have to disagree. People who leave Pittsburgh fade into the abyss. We came down here to Maryland 25 years ago. We're still saving the South. We're okay. We're doing all right.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
God bless.
Yeah.
God bless.
How many? I'm talking about Steelers. I think about
okay.
One of the only guys that I can think of that like went on and really actually did pretty well was Chad Brown. I thought Chad Brown did okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you talking, Rasheen?
Until he went to the Super Bowl and we beat him.
What? You know what, guys? Do y'all know Bubby Brister got 2 Super Bowl rings? Because he backed up John Elway in Denver when they went to the Super Bowl.
I knew he was in Denver. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Bubby, listen, I played against Bubby in '94. He was quarterbacking for the Eagles. Okay?
Yeah.
And he ended up going to Denver when Denver played Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Y'all remember that? In Miami.
Yeah.
Bubby was the backup quarterback and he got a Super Bowl ring.
Sure did, man.
You're right.
Sure
I
did.
knew he was good at something.
I need to get
plays.
Bubby on this show. That's what I need to do. We need to get Bubby on here.
Oh, listen, Mark. Bubby don't mop anybody. You should have had him first. He don't mop
Bubby,
come on, it's Tim.
Bubby
You know he's okay with coming after Tim.
Yeah, Bubby was great. Bubby was a great baseball player, man.
Yeah,
great baseball player.
Doesn't he have a kid who's playing college quarterback?
Yes, his kid plays out at college in Colorado.
Is it CSU? Is he at Colorado State?
Not Colorado State. He's playing. What's another? Not the University of Colorado or Colorado State. It's another school there. I can't think of the name of it.
But I know because I saw he's done some good things there.
Yeah,
I read about him. He's done some.
I talk to Bubby. I probably communicate with Bubby by text probably twice a week. You know what I mean? He's doing great, man. He's down in I want to say Louisiana. He's got like a hunting guide company where they go out. He take people out hunting wild boar, pheasant, deer, everything. It's pretty cool.
There it is.
The University of Northern Colorado.
Northern Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey,
well, man,
can I ask a question, Mark?
Go ahead.
I want Mr. Worley. Did he know Mr. Nunn? Bill Nunn?
Yes, I did. I knew Bill Nunn actually recruited me for the Steelers. Okay. I knew his son. Yeah. I call him the Dudder Man from from New Jack City, but Bill Nunn Jr. But yeah, Bill Nunn. A lot of people don't know. You guys know, but the man is incredible with the things that he was able to do, especially when it came to the black players in the NFL. He's the one that really got it started recruiting at the small colleges, the black colleges. I think he was responsible for getting Joe Green, Mel Blount, Donnie Shell, all those guys from the smaller schools, man, to get that look. You know, every school get looked at now. I don't care if you're playing in Baghdad, they'll find you. But yeah, man, he's responsible for that. And he was always cool with me, man. He recruited me.
Okay. I had, speaking of that, I had to go look up where in the hell Tanner Olszewski went to school at. I never heard of that school. I never looked it up. It's in Minnesota.
How you pronounce it?
Tamaji State or some crazy. I was like, I never heard of that. How'd they find him?
Midget.
Well, Tim said, if you're good, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's what's hurting. That's what's hurting a lot of high school sports around where we are. They think they have to go to that top-notch school to be found.
No, you don't.
If you're good, you'll be found. Like the kid at Gaithersburg, he's found. He's going to, where's he going? The running back, the guy from Gaithersburg.
Okay. Let me ask you guys this. What do you got? And this is a very hot topic. What do you guys think of the way things are set up now as far as the kids coming out of high school and making the money that they're making?
College or
you like it? I don't like it, and I think it's out of control. I think there has to be some type of.
There's no structure.
Yeah, structure to it or something. I mean, it's just. It looks like the Wild Wild West. They're just kind of here we go.
let me. I don't like the transfer. I don't like the transfer.
Yeah, the transfer portal they make it too easy.
The kids are soft. I don't like you, coach. I'm pushing you to become the best you can be. You know, and I'm like loyalty. You brought me in. I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to work for you.
That's long gone.
But, it's long gone.
But pretty much you can buy
you hurt my feelings. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. You can buy your own team today. But here's my thought, guys, before we go, and this is my opinion, because I played the game, I've been there, and I think back, I was a 5-star athlete coming out of high school, right? So back then we didn't do that. You just didn't do it. You had to struggle, you had to hide stuff, whatever the case may be. But my thing with this right now, I'm a true believer in basic fundamentals, not just basic fundamentals as an athlete, but basic fundamentals in life. Okay. And I believe that amateur sports should remain amateur sports. There was a time when you actually had to be good or great to be in the spotlight. Okay. And if you guys pay attention to it, we live in a mediocre society now where mediocrity is accepted. Yes. You know what I mean?
Hey, We teach.
Okay, the participation trophy is big time now. Okay, the first place trophy and the sixth place trophy look identical.
Yeah.
So with that, what are we telling the kids? We're not teaching them how to process losing, and that's why we see the things that we see today. But here's my thing with these kids coming out of high school and getting paid. These kids are making hundreds of thousands of dollars coming out of high school now. Okay, and I'm trying to think back when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, how I was thinking at the time. Now, if you gave me $500,000 and put it in my bank account and I'm 18 years old, what do you think I'm gonna do with it?
Spend it.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Get in trouble.
Matter of fact, to the point where you might kill yourself. And I'm thinking that way because number one, when I signed a contract with the Steelers, I was 22 years old. And I'm still the first rookie in Steeler history to get $1 million signing bonus. Okay? And I'm thinking how I was thinking back then. You got a pocket full of money, you're buck wild when you don't know who you are. If you never come from money.
Yeah.
And so these kids today, man, in the long run, like you guys said, there's no structure. In the long run, these kids are going to end up damaging themselves, man. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%.
Really it takes the mystery off for things. There was a mystery from high school to college. There was a mystery about the game and everything from college and a reward to the professional ranks. Now, a lot of these kids, they don't even like the money that they're making. They ain't got to go to the pros. I looked at the kid, Bryce, what's his name from Alabama?
Bryce Young.
In 4 years, you know how much money he made? $8.2 million. Come on, man. Okay, why does he need to go to the NFL?
He doesn't.
Exactly, man. So to me, dude, this is our society today. We are bowing down to average and mediocrity. And you just see, man, I think a lot of the stuff that you see, it's almost like they want these young people to hurt themselves, man. And I'm just telling guys, I mean, I agree that they should get paid, but put it in a trust fund. And when you graduate, give them that $500,000. But in the meantime, man, I mean, watch what I tell you guys. These kids are going to hurt themselves, man, and you're going to hear about it.
No, I agree with you. You look at the kid from North Carolina, the quarterback, Derek May. He had two schools approach him with $5 million each.
Exactly, man.
$5 million each for just next season. And the kid is what? He's only 20. Did you hear about the kid who's a senior in high school this year, class of 23? He's a senior in high school. He signed a deal for $8 million. I forget where he's going.
Oh my goodness, man.
He's a quarterback. He has to play out until his junior year, I believe it is, but he'll end up with like $8.2 million. Some crazy.
Wow,
like he
man.
gets chunks of money each year as he goes. And now, I don't know if you know this or not, Tim, but in the state of Pennsylvania, they can do an NIL deal at the high school level.
I know. I'm actually, there's a company that I'm talking to about some things. That's another story with this whole thing. But, I'm not saying that the kids shouldn't get money. I mean, if you want to thank anybody, you got to thank Brian Bosworth. Okay. He started that back in 1987 and he got penalized for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Him and Ed O'Bannon.
He said to himself, look at all these people in the stands with my jersey on, chanting my name, and I don't get nothing from that. You know what I mean? He started that. So, you got to thank him. I believe that the kids should, that should be taken care of, but it's getting outrageous now. And like you said, there's no structure and somebody's going to hurt themselves real bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. So we'll revisit this. We'll go down the road a little bit. We'll revisit this. Yeah. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
I'm going to run for governor in Atlanta in about 10 years. Listen, you can go to Google and Google everything about me. I ain't got nothing to hide, bro.
Just put it out there.
Did you finish your class?
Huh?
Did you finish first in your class at Georgia?
Did I finish first in my class?
Yes,
no.
At Georgia.
No. Hey, listen, like Eminem, 8 Mile. Listen, I'm an 8 Mile. Yep, I did it. Yep, that was me. Yep. I punched that guy in the eye. Yes, I did. Yep. I sure did. Yep. You smoked that? Yeah, I gotta be honest, man. I smoked it. I inhaled too. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy, they will dig up some stuff on you, won't they?
They will.
That's all right. We got you, though. We got your back.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you. Hey, man, thanks so much for coming on tonight. This was fun. Let's do this again real soon. Let's
Please.
Let's talk some playoff football. Let's talk a little bit about what happens in this national championship tomorrow night. Good luck to your dogs, Timmy.
Exactly. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Dogs. Yeah.
Everybody have a good evening.
Yep.